Hi there, everyone, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to part 4 of the Jack White Love Affair. Alright, if you've been watching all my regular episodes, if you're a regular viewer, etc., then at this point you know that I am looking at The Dead Weather. Now, I did not realize when I picked up this album that The Dead Weather had 2 other albums. I actually just learned this before going to do this. I thought I better double check before I give bad information. The album I am looking at here today is actually the 3rd album from Dead Weather, and that is Dodge and Burn. And it's The Dead Weather, just in case, they have a "the" at the beginning. I didn't realize that they had 3 albums out already, and the reason why is when I bought this album, I happened to walk into Dr. Disc, which is my local record store, and local privately owned record store, and I walked in there, or independent if you like, and there's this album sitting right there, and big sticker right on the front. It says, featuring Jack White of the White Stripes. Okay, cool. So I thought it was their first album, picked it up. Went, all right, cool. Why not? So, a couple things on that were misleading. First off, great, it's got Jack White from the White Stripes. You know what, though? Jack White's not playing guitar on this album, folks. That's right. He's the drummer on this album. Now, if you know anything about White Stripes history and stuff like that, it's Jack White was a drummer as well, and I believe he's the one that taught Meg how to play, and it goes from there. But let me get into The Dead Weather for you. So the band's lineup is Alison Mosshart, who is the singer and lyricist. Alison is in a band called was in a band called The Kills, and I can't remember the name of the other one. Discount, that's it. Never heard of either of them. Then you got Jack Lawrence on bass, and he does some of the backup vocals. Jack Lawrence, if you're one of my regular viewers, you would have heard his name when I was talking about the Raconteurs, because he is the bassist in the Raconteurs. Jack Lawrence has also played for other musicians as well. One of notoriety is Canadian act City and Colour, which will probably be coming up in a review sometime in the near future. And then you got Jack White, and on the album, Jack White does drums, percussion, because, there is a difference between drums and percussion, and if one day I will explain it to all of you. Some vocals and some guitar. And then you've got Dean Fertitta, who I had never heard of prior to this. He's spent some time in a few bands. The only band I recognized offhand that he spent any significant time in was Queens of the Stone Age, and he was a replacement musician there. He wasn't, one of the originals or primaries or anything like that. But Dean does guitar, different types of keyboards and pianos, and some backup singing. This album is really, really cool, really, really out there, really, really different. Really kind of gets you going, man, because there is so much vibe and feel on this album. Now, overall tone, overall production, overall sound, the way you're going to hear it, the way you're going to enjoy it, the way the quality of it sounds. If you have listened to any of the later White Stripes albums, if you listen to any Raconteurs albums, if you listen to any Jack White solo albums, that overall kind of sound and quality and production is what you will find on this album. Okay, so we got that down out of the way. Moving on. Musically, these guys are great, man. They experiment, they play, they do a bunch of stuff. And this is a rock album. This is online. If you look at it, they'll say blues, psychedelic, stuff like that. You'll find all that in here. There's even some stuff in here that definitely has some hip-hop kind of influence going on. So let's get into this. I Feel the Love opens up this album. It's I Feel the Love Every Million Miles. Great tune, great way to open up the album. Alison's voice is really kind of cool, man. I really dig it. her style is, she's more, I don't want to say Courtney Love, that is the wrong idea, but that kind of era and tone of vocal style. Grungy vocals. That's the best way to put it. But not Courtney Love. I know I said Courtney Love, but I don't want you to think Courtney Love. That's a bad comparison for Allison. Her vocals are much more controlled and nicer sounding. Okay. I love Courtney Love as a vocalist, but that's a whole different discussion for another time. Then the next song is Buzzkill, and then in brackets, Buzzkill, I love Buzzkiller, man. Great tune, really gets it going. I don't know where exactly to go with Buzzkiller. It just really good, solid song, gets you going, gets you moving. Yeah. Then we go to Let Me Through. Let Me Through is one of those songs that when I go to think of it, when I look at the album or the track title, I kind of blank. When I'm listening to it, love it. Great song. On here, just, I don't know why, and right now it's not coming to my mind. I had mentioned earlier there's even some hip hop elements in here. $3 Hat is the one song that has some of those hip hop elements. The vocal delivery, the way the music is in general, like it's kind of, they're using the synths, guitar stuff like that to kind of replicate kind of a scratch kind of almost sound in the background. I don't want to say like scratches, but kind of that vibe kind of essence going on. And they get this great breakdown on it where, it just kind of gets hip-hoppy and weird and that. But it's a really cool kind of tune, man. Just get you going. And it's something different, especially for Jack. Something you've never heard Jack White do before prior to this point, at least that I've never heard. I mean, 2 albums before this one that I didn't know existed. So I got to go pick those up now. And find out if I'm right or wrong. Lose the Right is a good song. I enjoy it. It gets you going. It gets you moving. It keeps the album flowing nicely. It's a great album cut. Rough Detective, another great track that is a great album cut. This album is a bunch of great album cuts, and most of these songs really, they could give them a run at the radio for singles, and most of them might even fly depending on which radio station they're put on. Open Up, great song. At this point, you're halfway through the album. Now, I'm going to assume that there's definitely vinyl of this out here, and I'm going to assume, based off of the way that it's listed on the back here, Open Up would be the first track of the second side of the vinyl, and perfect way to do the second side of the vinyl. It fires up right away and just, open up, open up, open up, open up. It just goes from there, and it just fires on all cylinders. Be Still. Oh, good tune, man. Be Still. It just, like for a song that, they're saying Be Still, the energy in it is just crazy. Just high octane energy going on that one. Mile Markers. Ooh. Good. Another solid tune where, you just listen to this album, it's like, oh. And, but it's one of those songs where I kind of like when I'm going to think, someone says, oh man, have you heard Mile Markers from the Dead Weather? And I go, which one is that one? I hear which one. Oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah, that was a great song. Because it just, I don't know, there's a click in there, not quite hitting. Cop and Go. Oh, Cop and Go has got to be one of my favorite songs off of this album. I absolutely love this tune. I love the play in this song. I love the music in this song. I love the experimentation in this song. Everything about this song is a band out there actually working on creating music, working on creating something new, giving life to something they've never done before, playing with something they haven't done before. You know, like there's some real good vibes in this song. Too Bad. All right. Remember what I said about mile markers? Same thing about Too Bad. You know, it's a really good song, but when I don't have it playing, it doesn't click. And the album finishes with The Impossible Winner. Now, this is a slightly slower song. I don't think it's necessarily the slowest song on the album, but what a great way to finish out the album. Usually, I hate the way that Jack White has a tendency to finish out some of his albums, whether it be with the White Stripes or Record Tours or solo. I find that his last song usually tends to not push the album over the way it should at the end. Impossible Winner finishes this album out beautifully. It finishes this album out perfectly. It's soft, it's mellow, but it's got the vibes you want to hear. It leaves you feeling good. It leaves you wanting to hear more. It does everything that an album's closing track should do. I think this album is great. I am glad that Jack White does this band. I am glad that he works with the Dead Weather. I'm glad that I picked this album up, and I really should have done more research into the band years ago. I'm not even sure if they've released anything since. This I picked up when it was brand new on the new release shelves in 2015. I don't regret it, and it is actually one of my regular listen to albums now. It goes great in a mix with a bunch of other female artists, like when I'm in a mood for Hailstorm, Pretty Reckless, the Dead Weather go in right away, automatically. So those are my views on the Dead Weather's first album, and let me know what you think. Please, by all means, leave me some suggestions for, which Dead Weather album I should pick up next. Otherwise, the usual. Peace, love, take care, subscribe, leave a comment, and thank you very much, if you're one of my regular viewers, for following the Jack White love affair. Until next time.